When I tell you the devil don't want me to get this message out, y'all, the devil don't want me to get this message out. This is my third time recording, so we gonna rock with it. But what I was trying to say was it is a great healing taking place in the atmosphere, right? And the healing is taking place amongst many people. We just don't know it yet. A lot of things are festering up in us right now. Like in the last month, things have really been festering up in our spirit for us to heal that we didn't know we needed healing from. And a lot of it started at the root, which was childhood trauma, right? And when childhood trauma comes back to the forefront of our mind, because a lot of times in childhood we block things out. We don't have a memory of things before a certain age. So things that's blocked out goes into our subconscious mind, where we gonna always know in our cellular system. It keeps count of everything. We know every single thing that has taken place in our lives subconsciously. We don't remember it on a conscious level, right? So I'm gonna help a lot of people heal. I'm telling you. You see this scarf? I usually tie it up, put it in a thing, or put it another way. But today, I don't know why I was led to wear it like this. But when I put it on, I understood the assignment, because it puts me in the mind of Christ when he was sacrificed and he was crucified, right? They hung him to the cross. They nailed him to the cross. And during this time of healing, people may try to nail you to the cross. People may try to sacrifice you. See, people gonna sacrifice you first. They gonna do all type of malicious stuff to you that they've been probably doing all along to you. And then when you recognize that you need healing from it, and it done stirred up that pot because it's coming up out of you, and the offender gets offended, baby, the healing about to take place. But they're going to crucify you at that moment. They are going to call you crazy. They are going to do things to you on such a level you would think is unfathomable. And when I look back, see, I've kind of went through this process, and I go through this stuff too. This is my real life, y'all. Okay, when you don't cut off that narc gonna always come back and get that supply. When you don't cut off people that vibrate low, and you trying to vibrate high, you're going to still be faced with the same things. There's no such thing as healing when you're still in the middle of it. I don't care if it's with family members, friends, relationships. Until you get to the root of the problem, you're going to constantly deal with the issue. You're going to constantly seek narcs. You're going to constantly seek people that don't mean you no good, because you haven't got to the root of your problem, which 9 times out of 10 stem from childhood. And when I was going through counseling, I told her, some stuff or whatever that was going on with me. And in the beginning of our session, and she was like, "Oh, you just have PTSD." I said, "Oh, is it that easy?" At my ripe old age, I ain't never been diagnosed with PTSD. But at the same time, it's because I never been to counseling growing up. We didn't have those luxuries. And a lot of times I believe what it is now is we call it a cultural thing, where we don't take our kids to counseling, but that's not really what it's about. What it really is about, it's a mindset thing. When you know things have been taking place, you're not going to get your child the help that your child deserves, because you don't want things to be let out. And I grew up in the era where what goes on in this house stays in this house. So a lot of people can relate to me to say, well, we wasn't allowed to tell. So that means you can't go to a counselor to tell. So when you get to become an adult, you feel like you don't need counseling. And that's a lot of things that offenders will say to other people. "I don't need counseling. You need it. You crazy. You crazy. I don't need counseling." You know what I'm saying? They don't feel like they need the counseling because they don't want to open up their old wounds. They don't want to heal from the traumas that they experienced. But every child needs healing from trauma. No matter what type of trauma it is, it don't matter the level of trauma it is. But if you grew up around a certain type of people that raised you to be a certain type of way and they played these manipulative games on you, baby, that's more psychological help. That's worse to me. That's worse. When people play psychological games on you and then you got to unlearn things, until you unlearn things and relearn things, you're going to feel like it's normal, and it's not normal. That's why you warn in your spirit about people that you know you need to walk away from, because you know something don't feel right. You just can't put your finger on it because they raised you in dysfunction for so long, and then they say it's not dysfunction. Well, what is it, ma'am, sir? Sir, ma'am, what is it? What is it? Because if it's normal, why am I having these feelings and y'all just going on living life vibrating low? I push content that talks about kingdom spouses, right? And before I even got into the realm of pushing content for kingdom spouses, I did an evaluation over my own life, and I looked into it and I seen that I've never seen a kingdom marriage in my life. I've never seen two people coming together and being married for years at a time, doing things according to God. They did things according to their way. They may have had one spouse had one foot into the church and the other one didn't have none. Or I may have it where I had it where women would try to control the relationships when the Bible clearly states that the man is the head of the household. And we can talk about men is the problem all day long, but in all actuality, because men get a lot of backlash. I'm just going to be real with y'all. Men get a lot of backlash. Women, y'all could hate me for this. I don't care. But the truth is the truth, and it's got to come out. And I'm going to make it very entertaining for you so you can swallow it a little easier. But I'm going to tell you something. We always blame the men in our lives or the women in our lives for the way they make us feel. But we all pick our parents. Men pick their mothers. And then when they get into those relationships, it don't work out because they really trauma bonded with the person because they was running away from their parents and ran right back into them. The adult trauma that you deal with is not that person's fault. It's because you chose wrong, because you were seeking what you didn't have from your parents. But anyway, back to this whole relationship topic that I was talking about, because we're gonna deal with all the traumas. I'm gonna help y'all heal, okay? I'm gonna help y'all heal. Trust me, because I had to go through this is my journey to heal from these things, and I had to heal in silence. You don't have to heal in silence no more. It's time to speak. We, just like I said in another video, Kevin Gates was like, we in a great divide. You either vibrate low or you choose to vibrate high. Vibrating high is a choice. Vibrating low is a choice as well, but it's easier to just navigate towards the low spectrum when you are already low, or when you're used to doing things on a low level frequency. I suffered in silence. I've dealt with, I hate to call them diseases. I like to call them symptoms. I've dealt with a lot of symptoms and things because I've dealt with so many things in silence, because nobody understood me. Nobody understood my thoughts. Nobody understood how I felt. And as I got older, well, even in my childhood, a lot of times people took offense to my approach because they didn't understand me. And it kind of makes me feel like people fear what they don't understand. They take offense because they don't know how to go after that next level of understanding, or they don't understand what the lesson is in it for them. And that's a lot of things in life too. When we get tested in life, we fear, so we get offensive and defensive because we don't understand, and we're not trying to understand. Because when you really trying to understand, you come in with an open mind to say, okay, well, let me look at it from the other side, from the other perspective. Like, life is about perception. It's how you perceive things. And perspective is understanding that everybody has their own views and viewpoints. You know what I'm saying? Viewpoints are based on high and low vibrations as well. And if you choose to vibrate high in your level of perception, you have to also learn how to understand a person that vibrates low in their level of perception. I don't want this to go over y'all head, but it can happen. And people that usually vibrate low, they don't understand a person that vibrates high because they've never vibrated high in no way, shape, form in their life. No matter how good of a person they think they are, if it's not from the heart, the things that they do and how they act, they're not vibrating on a high level. And a lot of that is seen. You can really tell who vibrate on higher levels based off of their diet. Diet is a main way to show you your level of vibrating, how you vibrate, your frequency. Because if you choose to put any and everything inside your body and you just scarf your face, and I did this for years, trust me, I just got on this journey of really taking notice and account of myself, because I was raised like that. And when God was ready for me to unlearn my eating habits, to relearn it, then I was presented with it. So I could have been presented with it earlier, but I was still battling being healed from other things in my life. You know what I'm saying? I didn't want to let go. And that was the problem. I didn't want to let go, so I got a lot of symptoms in my life. And then it caused people to be there, like when you low, and people know that you need them, they come near with a helping hand, but it's really with a listening ear so they could go back with a running mouth. And that's foul. That's foul. I'm sorry. I ain't no way to slice that, but it's foul. It's what? When I help people that's in a low place, if you need help, it is what it is. I want to understand your story, yes, but I pretty much now, I know your story without even you telling me. I know all about you. I know who you are and where you come from. I know what you're dealing with. I know what you're battling. I may not know the very thing that you're battling, such as an exact event that took place, but I know. That's another thing that people are afraid of. They afraid of you shining a light on their demons. They afraid of you getting too close to them to shine a light on their soul. Let's grow.